In the history of the world, lots of countries have come and gone. Countries can collapse through internal strife, external conquest, or even natural disasters. But just because a country is gone, that doesn't mean it's gone forever. Lots of countries throughout history and across the world have reformed, restoring their territory by military force or diplomatic dealings, or even by a new country deciding to reclaim the name of a long-lost land. We'll take a look at some of these states that staged a comeback, and hopefully learn about why countries disappear and reform in general. Let's explore. Oh, and stay tuned at the end of this video for a couple announcements, including why I've been gone for 7 months, and a brand new Signore Galilei project. The major world events that reshape the map often lead to old countries being restored. For example, the fall of the communist bloc in Europe allowed East and West Germany to reunify, and for several states to regain their independence from the USSR. For the Baltic countries of Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, the late Soviet government even asserted that they hadn't actually been legally disestablished, and were still the same sovereign entities as they were before Soviet occupation. This was after the Singing Revolution and an attempted coup in Moscow made further crackdowns untenable. As another example, lots of countries regained independence via decolonization, with varying levels of continuity with the former countries in the area. On one end of the spectrum, you have countries like Myanmar, which was only fully colonized for about 60 years, and restored its borders more or less where they were before. On the other end, there's Ghana, which claimed the name of a historical empire, despite modern Ghana not actually sharing any territory with medieval Ghana. In between, there are places like Mali. If you've heard one fact about the Mali Empire, it's probably that one of its kings, Mansa Musa, brought so much gold on his pilgrimage to Mecca that it crashed the economy of Egypt. But there are plenty more. For instance, Mansa Musa told an Egyptian governor that his predecessor launched 2 voyages to explore the Atlantic around the year 1312, but neither ever returned. There's been a lot of speculation that they might have reached the Americas, but no one's found hard archaeological evidence yet. Modern Mali does overlap with the former Mali Empire, though more of it matches up with Senegal. This actually makes sense in light of more recent history. Under French rule, Mali was known as French Sudan, forming the Mali Federation with Senegal just before independence. When the federation quickly broke up, Mali kept the name. In the past few decades, Mali has once again become a major gold producer, with more than 2% of the world's total output. Plenty of other newly independent countries have picked names that represent a golden age of their history. After overthrowing white minority rule, Zimbabwe took its name from a medieval stone city, which is called Great Zimbabwe in English. Mexico took its name from its capital, Mexico City, which was in turn named for the Mexica people, who ruled that city before Spanish conquest, as Tenochtitlan and Tlatelolco. The Mexica are often called Aztecs, but it's more precise to say that the Mexica are the specific Nahua group that established the Triple Alliance, which Europeans called the Aztec Empire. Being trapped between larger empires can also cause states to disappear and return. One famous example is Poland. Poland was slowly gobbled up by its neighbors during the partitions of Poland at the end of the 1700s, though there were some small remnants here and there, like the semi-autonomous Congress Poland within the Russian Empire, and the Free City of Krakow. Poland would finally be restored after World War I, before being shifted westward by the Soviets after World War II. One key part of this process was that even while Poland was part of other empires, people still referred to the Polish region, thanks in no small part to Polish independence activists. Similarly, Mongolia was still a distinct region within the frontiers of Qing Dynasty China, making it easier for its people to claim independence during the Qing's collapse in 1911. Bulgaria has the distinction of coming back twice. The First Bulgarian Empire was established when the Bulgar people invaded the Byzantine Balkans in 681 CE. After several centuries, the Byzantine Emperor Basil II conquered the area by 1018. A rebellion re-established the Second Bulgarian Empire in 1185, with that empire falling to the Ottomans around the year 1400. Modern Bulgaria gained effective independence within the flagging Ottoman Empire in 1878 and declared full independence in 1908. What about in ancient history? States have been coming back basically as long as there have been states. The Akkadian Empire reached its peak around the 24th century BCE in Mesopotamia, though dating archaeology that ancient with our modern calendar is actually pretty hard. When Hammurabi controlled the same area 500 years later, he called his land the country of Akkad, though we call it the Babylonian Empire, after its capital. Roughly a millennium after that, another empire would rise from Babylon, which we call the Neo-Babylonian Empire. Its most famous ruler is Nebuchadnezzar II, known in the Bible for sacking Jerusalem. Speaking of Jerusalem, there's Israel. Now, Israel is a tough topic on YouTube to touch with a 10-foot pole, but using a metaphorical 11-foot pole, there's decent archaeological evidence for a kingdom named Israel near the Sea of Galilee by the 900s BCE, along with its neighbor, the Kingdom of Judah, to the south, matching up with the accounts in the Hebrew Bible. Then, well, a lot of history happened. Thanks to a complicated set of historical forces, a new Jewish state of Israel declared independence in 1948. At some point in the past several centuries, the Palestinian people of the area formed a national identity too. And in case you've been living under a rock, the Israelis and Palestinians have been in conflict for a while. And that's the end of our 11-foot pole. But hey, there was probably a country called Israel 3,000 years ago, and then there wasn't, and now there is again, and isn't that a fun historical fact? Let's move on. Okay, last up we have the Roman Republic. Yep, besides the Roman Republic in the time of Caesar, there were two short-lived Roman republics much closer to the time of Caesar's salad, which, by the way, was invented at an Italian restaurant in Tijuana, Mexico in 1924. Both were logically named republics in the modern city of Rome, and both only lasted a couple of years. The first of these later Roman republics was a client state of France in 1798 under Napoleon, before he abandoned the whole republic thing. The second was in 1849 during the Risorgimento, the unification of Italy. This Roman republic was notably led by a triumvirate, much like classical Rome toward the end of its republic. If there's one theme that unifies all these different examples, it's that the idea of a country can still be powerful even when the government of that country no longer exists, or no longer controls its territory. So long as the name of a country still symbolizes pride or power, or even just a unified concept of a specific place, someone new can still come and take up that mantle. And no matter where in the world you are, that's pretty incredible. And hey, if you've stuck around this long, I've got two special announcements for you. First, I wrote a book. The handy artificial intelligence answer book is scheduled to release in June. It's a reference book for everyone, full of questions and answers about the world of AI. And I promise that it's all written by humans, specifically me and my co-author. Second, I've started a blog. Each day in November, I'll be publishing a new blog post on my website, signoregalilei.com. If I miss a day, you can yell at me in the comments. And I won't be doing this alone. This is part of the Inkhaven residency, where I and several dozen other writers will each be making 30 days of posts through the month. Hopefully, this will give me the external motivation to stay on track. And don't worry, I'm definitely going to keep this channel going as well. There should be a more detailed announcement video soon, then some real videos on topics I've been meaning to cover for a while. No promises on exact dates, though. In any case, be sure to leave your feedback in the comments, and subscribe if you want to see more like this. And as always, thanks for watching.